Greatness is not where we stand, but in what direction we are moving. We must sail sometimes with the wind and sometimes against it, but sail we must and not drift, nor lie at anchor. Oliver Wendell Holmes. What great advice. And we do sail every day. That is tracking these markets, following price movement. Now we see the markets up, well, the weekly candle shows us an up candle. Remember, this is the Heikin Ashi candlestick. Actually, it was a down day. It's giving us an idea of the average pace. If you've not taken our training on Heikin Ashi candlesticks, this is a great time to do it, to understand what this is telling us as we look at where the market moved throughout the course of the day. The high we see was 476.61. Last week, the high 478.60. The week before, 473. The week before that, 477. So we're at 476. We've not reached the high, not reached the high of last week. We are seeing if we're going to find a topper here and then potentially this move over. The candle represents, of course, Friday and Tuesday. Remember, markets were closed here in the States for the Martin Luther King holiday on Monday. This is a short 4-day trading week. Started off down some in the morning, a little further down in the afternoon. Again, not much, 0.37. So we'll be paying close attention to see as this week goes on, do we get to the high of last week, right around that week before, and, well, I'm sorry, 2 weeks before, and then going all the way to 3 weeks back. We're a little above that one now, but we're not above where we were back on the week just there, the last trading week of the year. So seeing if what we're having is a sideways slide and then a die off and a drop, don't know. Things might actually tick up again. But I'm telling you where we did not have market capitulation with the high. And of course, in the turnover, it went up, not down when we had average volume. So there's nothing here in our standard measures that get us excited about jumping in right now. Could it go up? Could it go up higher? Well, of course it could. But if it's not giving us our clues with both the volume and the candles, we're not going to jump in. We're not going to take that risk. And after all, like I said, it's down today. The NASDAQ 100 down just a little bit, 0.01. So it's actually just flat. Doji in the morning, doji in the afternoon. But look at all that volume. Now, that's interesting. All this volume, higher than average volume in the morning. Again, where it tried to get up to a little peak there, and then sort of, again, dying there in the afternoon. In fact, plumbed the close to the low in the morning. In the afternoon, nowhere near the high. And again, you can see on the 2-day candle representing Friday and Monday, the high on the prior Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday candle, and I'm sorry, it's not Friday and Monday, Friday and Tuesday. We see on this Wednesday, Thursday candle, the high was 411.20 and 411.25. So just a little bit higher on this latest one. Remember, open, high, low, close. We see that on the top of the chart as we zero in on a particular candlestick. So it helps us to see just where things are going. So the high for the week is 411.12. Last week, 411.25. Week before, 406.09 and 412.92. So again, we go back to this week, the last week of the year, had a higher high than we have now. So we're seeing, of course, a sideways slide. We look on the 2-day and the half-day, and of course, we're well below that prior trend line as we are on the weekly. Now, at some point, if we try to draw a trend line, what do we get now? Well, you can see, my friends, we get pretty much a straight line. What does that do for us? Absolutely nothing. So we're not going to try to draw a new trend line. We're going to follow this one out, see if things take off or die. Let's move on to 20-year bonds. They are down strong for the day, 1.76%. Now again, we didn't have market capitulation on the prior high. We had a spinning top with average volume 2 weeks ago. Last week, we did have a little bit higher than average volume, and it appears to be accelerating down at this point. We see, of course, higher than average volume on the 2-day, for the Wednesday, Thursday of last week, and the Friday and last week and Tuesday of this week. And again, we see things dropping further. Like I said, down 1.76%. What about gold? Gold didn't have, again, we had a high price in gold, but it didn't reach the high back on the candle on the 27th of November. That high was 192.40. Then, of course, the prior high that we had, 193.18. That was on the last week of the year. And we've seen things slowly blowing off the steam, but no volume to back any of that up. That high we had back on the week beginning November the 22nd did have lots of volume. But again, we didn't have anything triggering the drop. So we're just watching gold as it, again, down for the day, 0.95%, but nothing giving us a lot of confidence in jumping into a down move. Now, here's something to pay attention to. Bitcoin starting the week off with a red down candle. When we look at red down candles, we can see, a couple of little false starts here. Here's one, where things were moving up. We then get a little red doji. But again, where we see these solid red down candles, things tended to move down for a while. So this is important. We're paying attention to it. Looks like we had some market capitulation here with that super, super high volume. When have we had volume that high, even higher than what we had on, looks like, yes, even higher than what we had back on October 23rd. So as we look at the market, we had, we had hitting a topper there and then rolling over this week. Let's see how that accelerates down and pay close attention to it if it really starts to gather steam. Now, this is a little different pattern than we saw all of last year up until this point, starting in October, mid-October, and of course going through the beginning of January. Now we see perhaps things weakening. Bitcoin may be getting ready to pull back for a while. It may not be. But we're looking at this, paying attention, focusing on it, seeing what it's going to tell us. Things could turn around tomorrow and pop right back up. But it has broken the trend line on the weekly chart. Look at the 2-day. It's not through it yet. The half-day just got through it in the morning, but it had been going down for a day and a half. So we'll pay attention, down 1.68%. That's not a lot of movement for Bitcoin. It could make that up tomorrow. We'll watch, wait, and see. Friends, thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate you. We love to hear from you. CW@chartingwealth.com. You have questions, problems, concerns, an idea for a training you'd like to know more about? Reach out to us. Be sure to always like our videos, subscribe at YouTube, and of course, go to chartingwealth.com, sign up. Every day you'll get an email. That's once a day. That's 5 days a week if the market's open 5 days. 4 days are our daily reviews. The last day of the week on Friday, at the end of the markets, we produce our weekly review and forecast. Every day we have a special training in there for you. Never spam, never sell that list. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.